Alright, hello and welcome to a game that I'm going to be casting using CaptureAge. I haven't tried this out yet, so we're going to be seeing if I'm able to get it working the way I want it to. But anyway, this game's going to be between TheViper here in the red as the Byzantines and MBL over here in the green as the Mayans. Now, I think this is a pretty interesting matchup because the Byzantines are a civ that I feel have some pretty good tools to deal with the Mesoamerican civs, but it can be really hard to get to them, especially with a map like this. Oh gosh, this is an awful map for the Viper. Both of his golds and his stone and his berries all kind of forward on this hill. We'll have a decently safe wood line and a back stone, but this right here, this is just ugly. But anyway, Byzantines, they really don't have an early game economy bonus. They can get to the cheaper skirmishers in the feudal age, and they have the cheaper imperial age late game. But right at the start of the game, the Mayans definitely have the better bonus. Their resources last 20% longer. At least I think it's 20% in the expansions. I think that changed from AOC. But that's a really strong Dark Age bonus. Let's see if I can click on this sheep. Come on, CaptureAge, let me click the sheep. Click on the sheep. There you go. Because sheep have 100 food. That becomes 120 food across 8 sheep. And then the big change is these boar right here. They also 340 food. That will last 20% longer. And the villagers will collect that super fast. So that means the Mayans just get a ton more food right in the Dark Age. And means they have a really strong early feudal push with men-at-arms or, well, with pretty much anything they want to go for. Men-at-arms, archers, eagles. And the big question for Viper is going to be, how is he going to defend this hill against that early pressure from MBL? See, he's going out to hunt the boar right now. And I'll have to experiment with what zoom level will work. Because I have a 1440p monitor, and so normally it's kind of zoomed out a bit. But that might be a bit too much for YouTube videos. Oh, he shoots the boar and it doesn't follow immediately. He'll shoot it twice. You see what he did there? He shot the boar, then ran back, and before shooting it again. That's because when the villager stands still, it basically has this reload time where it's just going to be standing still. And if you shoot the boar, run back before you shoot it, that reload time will be spent while the villager is running away. So you'll be able to bring the boar in just a bit further than you would if you just had the villager stand still and shoot it twice. That's really helpful when you're pulling the boar in over these hills, because you can't take downhill hits from the boar. Normally the villager can take four hits from a boar before dying, but if the boar gets 2 downhill hits, the villager will die in only 3 hits from a boar. And he'll take the second boar. Let's see if he does the same thing again. Oh, I like these Gaia-colored health bars on the boar. But we'll do 1 and immediately run away. 1, run away, get it a second time. You'll see sometimes the boar, if you run outside of its line of sight, it won't follow immediately, so you have to be careful. But you definitely do get a bit more extra space, and here he'll even use the sheep to block it. Stop all the HP from being lost from that villager. He'll get the boar, oh, even glitches into a nice position, and there we go. Beautiful boar lore from the Viper. That was so far away, and he gets it in with only 1 hit on the villager. He'll push in some deer as well. Meanwhile, MBL, pushing in a deer of his own, super valuable as the Mayans because, as we said, that food lasts longer. This boar will be killed. Pretty nice position under that TC. And we see this boar still has 100 food left on it. This boar probably came in a bit too early for MBL. He has lots of decaying animals, so as that 0 food sheep expires. But just as the Mayans, you'll have so much food coming in underneath that town center. And we'll look at MBL's map. He has a forward gold. You can zoom out for this. Forward gold, secondary gold in the back, third gold in the back, so these 2 back golds will be nice. Stone position's not the greatest, but the big thing for MBL, he doesn't really have a hill in front of these resources like Viper does. If MBL takes this hill, he'll have the attack bonus. It'll be really hard for Viper to hold onto that gold and that stone. There's a bit of a hill over here, but nothing really getting in the way of MBL defending his gold. And you'll have that safe stone in the back there, which is really nice for the Mayans. We'll see him get out some plumed archers, which, despite having cheaper skirmishers, plumed archers are always a difficult unit to deal with because they're so fast and so mobile. Kind of a forward lumber camp for MBL. I guess this wood isn't too close. We'll see if he puts a second one back here where it might be safer. But anyway, the Viper is doing loom, which means he is about to click up, and he's going out to gold. MBL will spot that, so he's putting up the barracks, will likely go for some men-at-arms, pretty much have to go for men-at-arms when your map is this bad. You really need to make sure you don't lose control of the hill. And we'll see MBL also putting up a barracks of his own. And Viper going up on only... Let's see, how does this add together? 21 population? 21 population. So that's a bit fast for men-at-arms. Normally you'll see 22, but 21 is also fairly standard, especially if you push deer. MBL going on 23. Pretty standard for Mayans because they get that extra villager. Viper will be up a bit more quickly, and we'll see if he's able to do anything with that, even pushing the rest of these deer in right towards his mill. And now he'll scout the gold. He'll know that MBL is going for the men-at-arms. Ooh, even getting a few hits on the scout. That's not good. Bit of bad pathfinding there, combined with not completely paying attention to the scout. And that scout will lose a few hits, which is pretty crucial in the men-at-arms fight, because now that he's down from 45 down to 33 hit points. And we'll see, what is MBL scouting on this hill? Yeah, he's seen the gold, he's seen the berries, he sees the hill, he knows he wants to push here. Not much else he really needs to see. He sees Viper has the wood in the back. He knows control of the hill. He'll see the men-at-arms or the militia, and he'll get the scout away, paying attention in time to pull it back. See, Viper will bring his scout over, and this is the scary thing. When Viper hits feudal, now the scout is more powerful than the eagle, and it's also faster, so he'll be able to take a pretty good fight, get the HP off the eagle, bring the militia from behind, force the eagle just to run away and take some more hits from the scout. But here comes MBL forward with a bunch of militia and some villagers. That's 5 villagers. He's added in the fourth men-at-arms. You can definitely do that as the Mayans because of all the extra food you have. There's a wolf there. We'll see if that gets involved. But now men-at-arms will come in first for the Viper. But it's going to be really hard to fight this as Viper and a wolf are going to be facing off not just against 4 militia, but 5 villagers. And Viper's going to try to push this. MBL is not doing well, he is doing the men-at-arms upgrade. That's higher up than I'm used to seeing. So he is doing that. We saw just Viper up there, adding in a 4th and now a 5th men-at-arm as well. And MBL is trying to push forward. We'll have the villagers forward to help fight. Viper not pulling any of his own villagers, putting the archery range down. MBL going for the forward archery range. Oh man, I like seeing how forward and aggressive that archery range is. Now he's coming up onto the gold. Viper gets a hit on that men-at-arm. It's a hit on that villager. And the scout will have to run back. 5 men-at-arms now for the Viper. 4 for MBL. Archer coming in. Viper's range just now going up. He didn't get that up quite as fast, so MBL will have this one archer to help in this fight. And now big fight from the Viper trying to kill villagers, but he's surrounded by the villagers. I think MBL should win this. And really nice fight there for MBL. Cleaning up Viper's scout. Losing the scout's the important thing, but now only 1 men-at-arm remaining for the Viper, and he's on the back foot now. Needs to take this skirmisher out from the archery range and defend this area. Now, one of the things he's really good at, though, is making just enough units to defend without overcommitting. And what's MBL going to do? He does have 200 stone, so he could try to go for a tower, take out this stone from the Viper. What's he going to do with these villagers? He needs to do something with them. Right now, they're just kind of idle here, being forward, not collecting resources. He'll build a house with them. Now there's an archer forward, and skirmishers there from the Viper to push the archer back. And MBL continuing to commit into archers. I don't know if that's the best play versus Byzantines, who are going to have lots of skirms, but the archers really need to be there to snipe villagers. They can't really fight against skirms. Maybe he's thinking he has an eagle and he can make more eagles if he wants, and he has men-at-arms. So forcing the skirms, he can kind of go archers and then eventually transition to eagles. And tower going up for MBL. I don't know how useful that tower is. He kind of wanted to be more forward, but Viper's going to respond with his own counter tower. Meanwhile, MBL's continuing to lose archers to those skirmishers. Now MBL's finally adding his own skirms. He'll need to fight with villagers against the men-at-arms. And nice use of those men-at-arms there from the Viper, holding them in reserve. And he will lose them, but he's going to stop that tower from going up. Great use of those men-at-arms, not losing them, keeping them around, not fighting, and then just using them to dive on the villagers building the tower. And those 2 villagers are really low on HP for MBL. He really needs to pull them back. He can't afford to lose them. Let's check the unit HPs. I can do that for all the players. Yeah, now MBL, his men-at-arms have been forward for a long time. They're accumulating some damage from the skirmishers. They're forced back. These villagers are forced back. And very nice reaction from Viper from that tower. Looks like MBL still has enough stone to build one more tower and Viper doesn't. So if MBL really wants to be greedy, he could... Oh yeah, here's the other gold from the Viper. So all three of Viper's golds were forward. MBL now could try to build the second tower on this side now that Viper's already positioned his one tower over here. MBL can try to sneak another tower on the other side. Let's see, that's a more HP eagle. So looks like MBL did add in an eagle as the skirmishers continue to try to get some hits on the eagles. Let's see, fletching... No fletching for the Viper yet, fletching only for MBL, but MBL, since he went so aggressive on those men-at-arms, didn't even do the wood upgrade. And with all those villagers forward, you kind of would expect Viper to be ahead in economy at this point, other than the fact he doesn't really have an eco bonus. Now Viper's getting out one archer. He'll need to be careful not to lose the archer to the skirmishers, but he needs the archer to try to attack the eagles, as they have 2 pierce armor, so those skirmishers only do 1 damage even with fletching. Villagers will garrison, just try to keep pushing that back as Viper adds in a second range. And that was a lot of early pressure from MBL, but Viper, only with a few skirmishers, some well-timed men-at-arms play, was able to push it back. But now, if Viper's going heavy into skirmishers, MBL just needs a few eagle warriors and he'll clean them up. Viper has to kind of fire and retreat. The only real threat is that archer to do damage to the eagles. Skirmishers, MBL doesn't even need the armor upgrade, skirmishers will just do the damage. We'll just do 1 damage regardless. And neither player thinking about Castle Age just yet, both of them continuing to commit into these feudal armies, now around 18 minutes or so. Nice use of men-at-arm there, trying to push the skirmishers back, but the archers there are able to do some damage. Doesn't have the 2 pierce armor that the eagle does. Now MBL has a small group of archers. If he can sneak these around, they can maybe do some damage against villagers. But Viper's going to continue moving his skirmishers forward, try to push MBL back. MBL will have to snipe a wolf. Eagle going down. And now these eagles can't push too far forward into the archers. Archers actually can do a pretty good job of killing the feudal eagles, especially since it's so hard to mask them when you're in feudal. Now let's just look at their bases. MBL, still on that forward gold, is adding in quite a few farms as he's starting to... doing horse collar, starting to think about a castle transition probably. And similar from Viper, now doing wheelbarrow. We indicate that down here, doing wheelbarrow. And not quite stockpiling food yet, but probably thinking of clicking up soon. MBL is ahead in villagers though. Kind of that is due to wheelbarrow probably, but we'll see. MBL looks to be in a decent position as Viper is moving his army forward. And can he catch anything here? Quick gate from MBL, it's not going to go up in time. We'll get a bit of HP on it, but immediately lose it. He's trying to keep walling there as Viper now throwing his army away to eagles. Viper probably thinks that MBL is up and doesn't realize how far back in feudal he still is. Now, MBL will use the eagles to kill the skirms. And while all these skirms are very low on HP, once that eagle gets that hit there, these archers are pretty much going to die. Viper, I think he got a villager or 2 there, did cause some idle time and some quick walling, but he will end up losing that army. And that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to lose your archers before you get to the castle age, because these are archers that won't become crossbowmen. And he'll just get some scouting, and he'll see MBL not up to the castle age yet. And he might be a bit surprised by that, as it looks like Viper is starting to collect that food to go up. And oh wait, did switching... Oh wow, switching hotkeys resets the view. Or switching buildings using hotkeys resets the zoom level. Interesting. Anyway, MBL is going to be adding in a barracks. He'll be going for eagles. I don't think Viper scouted that. Meanwhile, on the side, looks like MBL did manage to sneak a few archers into the Viper's base, but they are driven off by skirms, and some archers will pick them off at the back. Didn't look like they did too much damage there. But we'll see the Viper getting ready to go up to the castle age. Both players actually getting ready to go up. They should go up at similar times. The big difference is MBL does not have wheelbarrow. He finally did do double bit axe and horse collar. But of course, when you go men-at-arms, you normally don't do horse collar right away, but you really want to try to get double bit axe in. Can be difficult when you go for those 4 men-at-arms. But both players up to castle, only 11 seconds difference. And we'll see, what is Viper going to do with this army here? Looks like he's going forward with it. Or no, he's going to camp this hill? We'll see, because he did just lose a big part of his army going forward early. He might try to be... He might still not know when MBL's up. He might try to go forward and try to do some damage before MBL can transition into Eagles. But he might not know just where MBL is at this point in the game. Ooh, MBL has a good army coming from behind. If you look at their military populations, MBL actually has the lead. MBL's doing foraging for his Eagles. As MBL's aware of this army, and he will be putting up the double gates to force the fight over here. Viper could have an archer be picked off as he tries to get back. He will have that kind of a hill there if he wants to retreat to it. But he's going to press forward, split up his army, chase the skirmishers with skirmishers, but now those Eagles can come in and the archers are away. That might be a bit of miss micro there from the Viper, losing those skirms to the Eagles. And now MBL is going to come in with the hill advantage. A few Eagles there. They now have the +1 armor, so these archers will be doing only 2 damage, I think. And with some archers and skirmishers in the rear, this will be a really good fight for MBL, and Viper, trying to be aggressive with his army, is going to end up losing it. We'll use the skirms to clear up these archers, but again, the archers don't really matter as much for MBL since he wants to go Eagles. Losing these archers before they become crossbowmen is a really bad play for Viper, and MBL looks to be in a really strong position now. The only good thing for Viper really is that he has these 2 towers on the hill. Viper will be continuing to go into crossbowmen. Can't really go skirmishers against the Eagles. He will need crossbowmen if he has any chance of dealing with them. A good massive email of Eagles won't be able to deal with crossbows, but once you get Bodkin and crossbow, before the Eagles get all their upgrades, you can kind of take fights with crossbows. Like we see right here, they're able to kill them at least decently. And if MBL is investing into Eagle Warriors, he won't be able to afford the skirmisher upgrades. And feudal skirmishers, before they become elite skirmishers with Bodkin, really can't deal with crossbowmen like at all. If we see that's only 5 range compared to 7 range, Viper can just be a micro nerd and run away, kill all the skirmishers with the crossbows. Anyway, we see both players still only on 1 town center each. MBL is continuing to add in Eagles and a few archers. Viper going into crossbows.
Shot it.
And some pretty good fights here. MBL maybe being a bit over-aggressive early on, but now he's upgraded from Eagle Scouts to Eagle Warriors. And needs to be careful with this army. Viper could pick off those archers before they become crossbows. MBL is going to bring them up, try to get us around on the Viper, but he's going to retreat. Keep his army alive. And MBL adding in the 2nd town center in the back of his base will be between that wood line and that gold. We'll keep him nice and safe, and he is transitioning to stone. We'll be looking to get up a castle, do some plumed archers. And now the Viper losing his crossbows again to the Eagles. There are some low HP Eagles there that Viper could snipe with the crossbows though. And he gets one, gets the other one, doing a good job to check those HP bars, picking off the skirmishers. And now those crossbows are dead, but they did a pretty good job picking off Eagles as far as crossbowmen go. And he will try to run away with those crossbows, bring them back here, and even with just crossbows versus Eagles, Viper doing a good job with the micro, taking some really nice fights. And he will run under the tower, have the tower come help out. MBL still can't afford the upgrades on his ranged units, still, let's see, where are they? Only has Fletching, doesn't have Bodkin. But he does now have the 2nd armor upgrade on the Eagles. That will be really important for them. Let's see, I don't know if there's a way if I can check whether or not the Eagles have squires. In the Eagles versus crossbowmen or cav archers or whatever fight, squires can be a really important upgrade because it makes your Eagles run faster. It help you get, just take better fights and jump on top of the crossbowmen earlier, not let them run away as much. And now we finally see Bodkin coming in for MBL, but Ballistics coming in for the Viper. So MBL spending his wood on TC, Viper spending his wood on University and Ballistics. And now this here, if those Eagles fight, that would be an interesting fight. I don't know if that's enough Eagles to fight those crossbowmen, but it just might be enough, as these have +1 armor, don't have the +2. And Viper staying on 1 TC, has a lot of food. Actually, with the Byzantines' cheaper Imperial Age, he is close to clicking up. But just MBL with the Mayans, his economy is going to be so much better. 2 TCs, he's ahead by quite a few villagers. And let's see what Viper is able to do with his crossbowmen. Coming over to this side of the map, kind of this hill is so big, it extends so far across Viper's base. It's so hard, even this wood line's kind of exposed. If MBL gets something up on that hill, it'll be hard for Viper to fight it back. But now Viper is coming in, trying to get some quick walls up. Won't get that one in time. Does have a nice gate there. But now the Eagles, they will be fighting underneath 2 towers, and crossbows will come in from the back to pick them off. Viper's trying to put up a castle, and oh, he's the Byzantines. You know what castle means. That might mean he wants to go Cataphracts versus the Eagles. And, you know, if Byzantines do have one counter to the Eagle Warrior, it is the Cataphract, which just absolutely destroys Eagles. The problem is Mayans do have really good archers, and archers counter the Cataphracts, so we could be in for a really interesting game with Cataphracts versus some type of Eagle and Archer combination. Viper does need to get that castle up. Is MBL pushing forward with a castle of his own? He will be getting out some Plumed archers, and it looks like we will indeed be seeing probably Cataphracts and Plumes going at it, and I guess Viper's going to have to add in a bunch of skirms if he wants to fight Plumed archers. Anyway, he's building up another tower on his wood. Really can't afford to lose that wood. He only has 2. He's only been on this wood line the entire game, adding another lumber camp down here just now. But he could basically get out 1 or 2 Cataphracts and be able to clean this army, as the skirmishers won't do anything to the Cataphracts, even though they are now elite. Elite skirms can do a better job actually of killing villagers though, but Viper will continue to wall behind. MBL may be missing a bit of an opportunity just hanging back there and not trying to run around, although maybe he was afraid of some very quick walls blocking him off. Nice tower from Viper. We'll keep that wood safe for now. As MBL, let's see, neither player, I want to see these unique units, but Viper, look at that, Viper is up to the Imperial Age. So he'll be playing 1 TC Byzantines, cheap Imperial Age. We'll try to get out some trebuchets to knock down that forward castle before MBL gets up. MBL on 2 TCs. I like playing 2 TCs a lot as the Mayans. We see he does have a pretty big eco lead, but he'll need to do something with this forward castle. It's a big investment if he just ends up losing it. And now these Eagles over here, that gold is pretty well, not as close to the castle as Viper probably wanted to place the castle. Now Viper probably would have preferred to get the castle up here on this hill, but MBL's not going to let him do that. And MBL just running around with the skirms, trying to hit something, not really going to find anything. Now, oh, here come a couple of Cataphracts. Yes. Oh, these are just the most beautiful. Look at how beautiful they are. And, oh, a split micro. Attack the skirms, yes. Oh, look at that. I love watching Cataphracts go at it. Don't run into the castle, though. Don't lose your Cataphracts to the castle. Oh, he's got to run back. Oh, he's going to split away, even. Look at that split micro. Then he can just garrison in the castle to heal them up again. Anyway, he's moving forward with his crossbows, and this could be a very bad fight if those Eagles are able to get the jump on those crossbows. Just now doing Squires, though. Not having Squires is going to hurt MBL here. And Viper, can he get back? He's going to get to the Cataphracts, and 4 Cataphracts are going to be enough to keep those crossbows safe, as they'll get a few hits. Oh, look at how quickly they kill those Eagles. Oh, they just killed, like, what, 4 Eagles right there. Yeah, Eagles definitely cannot fight Cataphracts. But here come the Plumes, and so MBL is going to be kind of going for the Archer army. Viper right now is a combination of Cataphracts and crossbows. Plumes will wreck both of these units. Viper probably will need some skirms, and we see him doing Elite Skirmisher right now. MBL will be about a minute slower up to Imp, and what is Viper doing? Immediately has a trebuchet coming out of the castle. And MBL could be going for a bit of a surround here. Is Viper going to go for it? No, he's going to turn around to engage. MBL's Eagles not quite in the fight right now. And Viper will lose a couple of Cataphracts to the Plumes, but really not that many Plumes there, only 3 of them. And Viper will bring his crossbows forward. Now he can bring the Cataphracts back towards the Eagles and push this army away with the crossbows, kind of. It will be hard with the skirmishers there. Viper going to try to take the hill. He's taking the hill, and he's going to focus down the Plumed archers. He's frantically trying to right-click the Plumes right now instead of the skirmishers, I bet. Because Cataphracts don't really need to worry about the skirms. He's just going to try to use the crossbows. He'll trade them to eliminate the Plumes, and then use the Cataphracts to clear everything else. Also, great micro there. We see Viper finally now adding a second TC, but he's about 20 villagers behind in economy. So the question is, will he be able to hold? As we see, he does get the first Treb out. This will be difficult trying to fire uphill against the castle. But this army from MBL going to be eliminated by the Cataphracts. And they will have to run away, though. But they're the type of thing they can be healed, both inside of the castle and with the Byzantines having their team bonus gives their monks better healing ability. So if Viper goes for a monastery, he will be able to heal them. But now the Plumes are coming out, and Viper, he has a few elite skirmishers, but Cataphracts, good at dealing with skirmishers and eagles, not good at dealing with Plumes. He will be pressing forward with them. Not sure if he's going to do much damage. MBL building a tower on his gold to keep that safe. Probably Viper will get in before MBL is able to wall that. But we see a Treb now out for MBL. But MBL's out of stone. He can't repair that castle anymore. And it might actually go down. Looks like he just got a bit more stone somewhere and is trying to repair it. But he's soon going to run out of stone again. And now it's two castles attacking, and MBL is just going to abandon it. He'll leave his Treb up on that hill. As the third Treb out now for the Viper, and that castle is down. Now, it did do a good job of stopping Viper from getting the position on that hill earlier, but now it's down, and that's the Plumed Archer production that's going to stop from MBL. Remember, he's only on 2 town centers, wasn't on 3, so he doesn't have the best economy. Mayans are really good at playing that low eco game, but that kind of relies on their ability to produce Plumed Archers, and now that he's out of castles, he's not going to be able to produce them. We see him upgrading crossbowmen and the archer armor, so he might be trying to do an arbalest transition, and doesn't even manage to take out a single Treb. And we see now Viper with a pretty big score lead and a good position in this game, running around with those Cataphracts. Not really doing much damage, but at least forcing the Eagles back. Those Eagles could be raiding this town center, but not with the Cataphracts running around that base. And now the final armor upgrade coming in, plate barding. Now Viper, there's no way he's going to be able to afford elite Cataphract. We see MBL's economy so much better. He has so much food. And will he try to fight there? These are kind of low HP. Viper probably doesn't want to fight there. But at the same time, he's taking a fight down here. MBL does notice and tries to run away, but those Eagles won't. They're not going to escape the Cataphracts, even with Squires. I just heard a university, so I guess MBL is probably going for ballistics of some kind. Yeah, he'll be going for ballistics right now. And oh, Viper, don't lose your Cataphracts to the Plumes attacking a house. Oh, he does see it and pull it back. That one, only 2 HP he gets out of there. MBL could snipe it right now if he tries to ungarrison these ranges. But might not do that with the skirmishers. And Viper will try to take out that range as MBL retreats with his crossbowmen. And now we're getting to the point where there's a bit of an asymmetry to these two army types, where Viper has a melee unit that dies to MBL's ranged unit, but kills his melee unit. But then Viper has a ranged unit that kills MBL's ranged unit, but dies to his melee unit. So you kind of get into situations where the fights in the middle between the melee units are MBL kind of just running around trying not to fight while letting his arbalest do the damage, and these Eagles can kind of just soak up skirmisher fire. And he's going to be use the Eagles to hit the skirmishers without letting them die to the Cataphracts. And yeah, without letting them die to the Cataphracts, so the Cataphracts are running back, trying to be healed by that monk. And the skirmishers just going to fire and retreat as the Eagles try to path themselves over, and now we'll see this should be a good engagement here. What is the Viper going to do? He's building a town center. Might want to wait for the town center to go up before he engages, and yeah, that's going to force the Eagles back a bit. And only 3 villagers though. I don't know if MBL really needs to be scared of town center fire at this point. And oh, look at those skirmishers doing a great job of picking up those arbalests as they retreat. Looked like MBL might have grouped up all of his army there and moved it as one formation. Now he's trying to come in with the Eagles, pick off the skirmishers. Cataphracts need to be careful not to fight the arbalest. But MBL then needs to run his Eagles back when the Cataphracts get in the way. And he'll try to run them back and pick them off with the Arbs, as Viper then has to run back with the Cataphracts. This is just going to be such intense micro between the players, trying to find good ways to take fights without getting their armies and out of position and losing control of them. But now what's this? A castle coming up from MBL. Oh, I love seeing that on the minimap. Oh, and another castle here from the Viper. This castle will be nice because it's on a hill. And if the Trebs... I don't know if the Trebs can still reach that castle from a hill without going to this downhill area. But if they can, that'll be nice. Ooh, but at the same time, his skirmishers are getting a bit too far forward. Those eagles are taking a good fight. Cataphracts now having a bit of trouble pathing there. And MBL... he should probably pull the eagles back. Let them fight those Cataphracts probably a bit too long. And I think that was a good fight for MBL up until the end. These skirmishers, Viper really doesn't care if you lose them. They're so cheap to replace. Chemistry now coming in. We'll give an extra attack for these skirmishers, I think. Should give them 3+4 after that. I'll keep my eye on that. And he's doing the ring archer armor, so the final armor for the skirms. And now Viper's skirms are pretty much gone. But he's moving forward with Trebs. And has he seen this? Let's see who's POV on one. Oh, he has not seen this castle. If he saw it, it's completely undefended. He could just treb it down right now and send the Cataphracts in to pick off the villagers. Force MBL at the very least to delete it and waste tons of stone. Now, that's going to be the challenge if MBL is able to get Plumed archers back up. And we'll be able to go for a stronger unit than the Arbalest, or if he's able to do obsidian arrows, kind of use the Arbalest to destroy buildings. But Viper is still kind of down in military numbers, but he does have the strongest unit in those Cataphracts. And I guess those are fully upgraded skirms now with chemistry and with the armor. But again, getting them slightly out of positions, but these Cataphracts, they are cavalry units, so they can get there. But still no elite upgrades, still doesn't have the attack upgrades. Does have the armor upgrade, that's the really important one. And now he's going to try to take a fight with the Cataphracts against the Arbalest. The Arbalest can fire and retreat and pick off some Cataphracts as the rest of them have to go after the eagles. And now the skirmishers are in the back. The skirmishers are not fighting the Arbs, and the Arbs are getting some really good pickoffs on those Cataphracts right before they have to run back. But over here, this part of the fight was good as Viper picked off the eagles. And now we're just kind of fighting skirmishers versus Arbs, but the Arbs are trying to kill the Cataphracts as Viper does have a convert. That eagle will go down pretty quickly. And now here come the Trebs. Arbalest really can't kill Trebs because Trebs have way too much pierce armor. It's 150 pierce armor. And they will start taking out these archery range. These archery ranges killing MBL's production. MBL taking wood at the top of the map. Still, MBL has a huge eco lead, and that's kind of something you don't really see as the Mayans. Normally the Mayans are the lower village account civilization, but here with that fast in from the Viper, he's still behind in villagers. Again, moving his skirms forward. Only one eagle there, so the skirms can do a good job of picking off Arbs as the rest of the eagles come forward. And now there's enough eagles there, the skirms have to retreat. And we'll see this a lot. Eagles pushing forward until they find a castle or some Cataphracts and then running back. Skirms picking off one, but really, eagles don't really have much to worry about from skirms. And here we see Viper again trying to push forward, get the eagles to come forward. Needs to be careful with the Trebs, don't lose them to the eagles. MBL can even use his Arbalest to attack the skirms since they will auto-target the eagles, and Viper's probably not going to be doing some micro trying to target the Arbs while the eagles are there pushing the skirmishers back due to their minimum distance. But now more archery ranges from Viper. We see this commitment into skirms. Just more, see, nothing being made from the castles right now. MBL just going full on eagles at this point. No plumes for that castle. Oh, what's this? MBL trying to put up a castle on the right side, but Viper spots it. He's going to chase down these villagers with the Cataphracts. He will build a tower to kill even more villagers, and that castle is not going to go up anytime soon. As these villagers are now going down, Viper has a tower overlooking it. And Viper is starting to treb down this castle at the top of the map from MBL. See, MBL, I guess, he sent all those wood villagers to build that castle and has now been losing them. This castle about to go down. Will it be able to repair it? The Cataphracts kind of have to pull back. MBL does have a much larger army. That's a ton of skirms. And what's Viper going to do? He's going to make his own castle in this location, while MBL just going to build some buildings out here. MBL's population, though, looking so much better than Viper's. At this stage in the game, about 50 minutes in, you really want to be around 200 pop, and Viper's going to need He's going to need a lot of effort to try to push 200 pop from here. And oh, this could be bad. His skirmishers and his cataphracts are completely on opposite sides of the wood line. If MBL moves his eagles, if MBL moves his eagles into Viper's skirmishers, this could be a really good play from MBL, but he's not going to do it. He's going to worry first about this castle, but now the skirmishers are out of position. They're pathing this way around the wood. And Arbalest will push the Cataphracts back. Viper going for some quick gates here. There's a hole there. He might be trying to protect the Trebs, and there's the hole. Oh, Viper can't wall that in time. And, oh no, these eagles, they're going to attack the Trebs, and Viper's going to lose 3 Trebs. Oh, he's trying to get a YOLO gate there, and he does. He gets it up. Will he save the Trebs? But that gate, oh, the gate goes down. I wasn't clicking the right gate there. And will the Trebs kill the castle? 1 Treb left. No, they won't. The castle foundation and all that stone for MBL will stay there. And Viper losing 3 Trebs. That's huge. That's 600 wood, 600 gold. And what's he able to do now? Skirmishers now trying to fight the eagles. Arbs. Need to be careful to target the Cataphracts. That tower could go down to the eagles if I can click it and not the trees behind it. There we go. Cataphracts being picked off by the Arbs. I honestly can't tell who's winning this fight. I think MBL probably will have to retreat soon. We'll just finish off that tower first. But no, he can come forward again, pick off the skirms. And MBL retakes the score lead. That was a bit of a disaster from the Viper there, just being careless, not trying to go for some masterpiece gates and not getting the 1 tile of wall he needed. Losing quite a few Cataphracts there. Now, Cataphracts are a lot more expensive than eagles, so every Cataphract lost for the Viper is a big loss for him, especially with his low eco approach. And he might just not have the population to be able to push this back now. MBL coming forward, taking map control despite losing that castle, adding in more forward buildings. Just not having this castle up is a big loss, because if he had that castle and this castle also in a safer location, maybe just try to protect this part of his base with the castles, he would have some pretty good Plumed Archer production. Instead, he tried to be aggressive, take map control, and really doesn't have a way. The Plumed Archer is his strongest unit, and he doesn't have a way to produce it. And look at all of these skirmishers. Somehow, despite all the Byzantine skirmishers, MBL still has a much larger army. Just where is it? It's not going to be here in this fight. He's going to run slowly, but surely we'll be losing those Arbs. Villagers running away to be picked off by the Cataphracts. Arbalest, oh, they're going to run into a dead end. Does MBL know what that is? Oh, he was probably hoping he could sneak around the outside, but nope, he is now trapped there. And all of those Arbalest could die unless, well, the eagles are coming in from the back. They could distract the skirms. Viper doesn't quite have a good mass of skirms, actually. He'd probably lose them to those Arbs. They're not really attacking. And yeah, those Arbalests still making one last stand in this little choke point. No, Viper trying to be sneaky with that hill bonus, but 2 eagles are going to come out and pick off those skirmishers on the hill. Yeah, this is actually a really great location for MBL. Despite all those Byzantine skirms, MBL is managing to make the best of what he can with these Arbalest. Oh man, that could have gone so much worse for MBL. But he's even going to pick off these skirmishers and survive. This is just such an awkward terrain for the skirmishers to try to fire, because it's the same range, 8 versus 8, but there's no good way for the skirmishers to get us around. And if you patrol them all in kind of together, then the eagles can just come in and break them up. Because of their minimum range, the skirmishers will see the eagles and try to run away. And MBL, he's actually going to have a few Arbalest and escape. And he has some more units queued up in these buildings. He's at 200 pop. And things actually are looking really good for him right now. He'll need a way to deal with those Cataphracts. Viper still does have a bit of gold. Viper's finally doing iron casting. But oh, here we go. Obsidian arrow. These Arbalests will now shred buildings. And I guess the lack of castle doesn't hurt now if he doesn't need trebs when you have obsidian arrows. Let's see, he does at least have ballistics, yes. Oh, here we see no bloodlines for the Viper either. He probably doesn't have a stable. So that'd be no stable, no bloodlines, no husbandry. And husbandry can also be... It's one of those upgrades that's really important, even though you might not think about it so much because it doesn't make a visible change on the unit stats. But speed for your units was just so crucial when you try to run down Arbalest. And I hear Arbalest go into that little hole there. Oh no, he's gonna try to run away. Yeah, I guess he saw the skirms and wanted to do some micro running away rather than stand and fight. Now you will pick off a couple of Cataphracts. At least get a couple kills, but he will lose that army. And there's that extra gold over here that Viper hasn't been able to take. Meanwhile, the Viper's up here trying to do some raiding with Cataphracts, but losing them to Arbs and a couple Plumes. Now, actually, the Cataphracts, as you see MBL using the market, are, 30-something Arbalasts are now queued for MBL. Cataphracts, these are strong. If you don't have the Arbalest numbers, Cataphracts will do a good job of winning the fights. But they will be cleaned up as MBL securing his own extra gold. Meanwhile, a big fight going on over here as the Arbalest trying to do some sidestep micro to kill the Cataphracts. But the skirmishers are there. As the Arbs run away from the Cataphracts, the skirmishers just slowly but surely are there picking them off. And we do finally have Elite Cataphract. But I feel like stable and bloodlines is something that would be really good for the Viper, just to add that extra 20 or so HP to the Cataphracts. Especially when you're fighting those Arbalests, you'll be able to tank a lot more damage. And MBL not paying attention, not running his Arbs away, not ungarrisoning the Eagles, will lose all of those Arbs there to the Skirmishers. Oh, that was not a good fight for MBL. Now Viper back on top with the score lead. And oh, Monastery that got denied. Oh, but man, that's such an interesting game. The 1TC Imperial Age Cataphract play. Oh man, that's so good to see. And Cataphracts and Skirmishers, those are the two best units in the game. And we'll see up here MBL being forced off of that wood. How much wood does MBL have left, actually? He has pretty much no wood in his base. There's this wood here. Oh, Viper's trying to steal some relics from this monastery, it looks like. Arbs will come in from the back. Does Viper have a monk on his way? No, he doesn't. Oh, but at the bottom, MBL is doing some raiding on these farms with Arbalest. Let's see what he's able to pick off here. Is that Arb going down? Some Eagles at the top. And now MBL's, returning the favor, doing some good raiding on the Viper. They're kind of both in each other's bases. Are these Eagles enough to pick off those skirms? Viper kind of stabilizing down here now that he has the Cataphracts in position. MBL is kind of throwing away a few Arbalests. And the skirmishes will be forced away by those Eagles. MBL needs to get back onto that gold. There we go, ungarrisoning the TC. Oh, Viper has a monk up there. He's looking for relics. I don't know how the... Can we see relic count somewhere here? Relic, 1, 2, 3 relics. 1 for Viper, 3 for MBL. MBL did have 4 relics, but Viper might try to steal that one. I don't see any red on the mini-map. A few Eagles not really going to be able to do too much damage there. The main thing they need to do is draw the Cataphracts forward, which they're able to do. And not enough skirms here. Those skirm numbers slowly being whittled down. A good number of Arbalest on the right-hand side for MBL as, let's see, Obsidian Arrows does manage to destroy the TC, and MBL could secure him this gold here. Viper really hasn't mined too much of that. And a few Cataphracts coming forward, not really under control with the rest of the army. The Arbs will pick them off. Viper's probably trying to micro in many places at once. He has his Cataphracts underneath the TC dying to it, even though he's doing a ton of damage here with those skirms, even just killing villagers. And now he has some skirms here, but MBL is still managing to take some really good fights. But if you look at the KD, both advantage for the Viper, and he's making the cheaper units in the skirms. That's now we see some Cataphract bodies there, but some pretty big Arbalest losses. But Viper is losing this TC at the bottom. Must have lost a ton of villagers there. We still see he's nowhere near being pop-capped. MBL has a monk just chilling down here in the corner. He's found all the relics, so he's got nothing left to do but chill. Or he could, you know, give out a Cataphract, but... yeah, that would require him not being lazy. This guy probably learns from doubt. Anyway, this push from MBL really, I think, his last chance to do anything, as Viper kind of now, almost reclaiming this gold, has just so many skirmishers out, finally starting to get even in population. Viper might, for the first time, start to take a population lead. As he's finally clearing out these rangers. Clearing out these production buildings will make it a lot easier for Viper to take that gold. And meanwhile, MBL's push on the front, kind of running out of steam. So I think... at this point, finally, after a bit of a roller coaster of back and forths, Viper's finally managed to stabilize. Ooh, but MBL does recapture that relic. And let's see. Oh, wait, Viper had 3. It was Viper who had 3 relics, and MBL who had 1, or now 2. I can read. Those colors sometimes get to me. Hopefully the green and red don't look too similar for if you're colorblind. Maybe I should have done this with team colors, but it's a bit late for that now. I need good old Ornlu the Wolf to beta test my videos by giving a description of whether or not colorblind red-green issues exist in them. Let's see, that archery range is going up. And, oh, Viper's going back for that relic again. We see the monk trying to get the conversion. There you go, Cataphract running away. See, now, guard tower even. MBL really wants to defend that wood line. And Viper really wants to get that relic. Over here, a few more, just the same skirmish we've been seeing. Arbs picking off Cataphracts while the Eagles chase the skirmishers. Eagles will be trying to do a bit of raiding on that gold. A bit of walling here for the Viper could be nice. So he could then, you know, garrison the town center to prevent any pressure. And MBL still, he's trying to rebuild these buildings. He knows he wants to control this side of the map, and to do that he's going to need the buildings. And now it's Viper who's using the market. And I don't think MBL has the numbers for this fight. Those skirmishers aren't going to do anything versus the Cataphracts. And I don't know, Viper, don't lose more trebs. Yeah, he's not. He'll pull them back. He'll get them safe just in time. And I wonder what MBL's plan is, because he's pretty much all out of gold at this point, and he's losing his relic. Does Viper have a monk nearby? Oh, he actually has a monk to come and take the relic now. Yeah, so Viper has all the gold at this point, and Mayans without gold, you know, they don't even have any light cavalry or hussar units, so they can struggle, especially against a great civ like the Byzantines, who then have a Cataphract unit that can kill pretty much all of the trash, all of the remaining units that the Mayans can make. Other than halbs, but then you have skirms, hand cannons, arbs, pretty much everything you can want with to deal with halbs. And see, MBL will be going for the villagers to kill the rams, as Viper tries to get us around on the arbs with his Cataphracts. Viper has the relic he's holding in his hand, he's going to run it away. And MBL is trying to run around. Oh, it looks like Viper finally discovered there was an extra stone hidden at the back of this map here. He will pick that up. But MBL's desperately just trying to get some control over this part of the map, but he can't deal with all of these Byzantine skirmishes. Oh, look at all of those skirmishes. Look how beautiful all those skirms are. Oh, yes. And those villagers will be cleaned up. That barracks will probably go down quickly. MBL going for crop rotation. I think he's transitioning into the mode of If I'm going to win this game, it's going to be a really long one and try to just outlast with trash, but that's not something you got to do versus Byzantines. Even as Mayans with the longer lasting resources. Yeah, MBL only has 20 gold, doesn't really have a way of getting any more with only one relic. Now, what's he gonna do with these skirmishers? Is there... Oh, that's with siege rams. I was hoping that'd be a good on-a-go shot right there, but nope. Just some siege rams. And Logistica, finally, for the Viper, will finally get the upgrade on his Cataphracts. The trample damage. No blast furnace to Byzantines, of course, so it will be just 12 plus 2 plus Logistica. And another fight, MBL kind of cleaning up some more Viper skirmishers, going into pikemen. He'll somehow need to get gold for a halberdier. That's going to be rough, but he'll need that to fight Logistica Cataphracts, because as the arbs start to disappear through the lack of gold, the only option will be halbs. It's not a great option, but it's often the best you can do versus Cataphracts, because you can at least, Cataphracts are expensive. If you kill them, it is at least a good trade for you. Well, Viper will lose some of his skirms as he's probably concentrating down here, losing a couple of villagers, but these skirms will die as the Cataphracts move in. They're not fully upgraded though, because they still are missing bloodlines, and I think also husbandry. So still the lack of... Does Viper have a stable anywhere? Looks like... Oh, he does, finally. I have no idea how long that's actually been there. Maybe he did do husbandry a lot earlier, and it just doesn't show on the overlay. I don't think there's a tech tree that I can check here, and I don't want to alt-tab into the game to check the actual tech tree. It would be cool if there were an indication maybe on the unit icon itself of what the upgrades are that it has. Anyway, here come the siege rams. Finally, the anti-Mayan unit has come out for the Byzantines. These big skirmisher, damage-soaking up siege rams. MBL trying to add in more barracks there. But I think as time goes on, this is just looking a bit more and more over from the Viper. But he could lose trebs to villagers. Oh, don't lose your trebs there like that. Villagers. Oh, what MBL needed to do was build some gates. Just some quick gates behind the trebs, because then they wouldn't have been able to run away. And there we go. That's one down. That's another low HP, but that should have gotten at least 2 there. It was nice play by MBL to spot those out of position trebs there. But at this point, still not going to be enough. As Viper just continues to open up a larger and larger score lead, he's finally gotten up to around that 200 population mark. He will take out MBL's final relic. And there's a monk there ready and waiting to grab it. Let's see. Oh, MBL still managing to sneak units around this back corner. But Viper finally is mining the resources that are back here for him. As that skirmisher goes down, and the ram push is coming in, and the final relic is going back to the Viper. Unless the monk decides to path this way instead of this way. And yep, there goes the monk. So Viper will have to wait a bit before getting that last relic. But the important thing is he did stop MBL from getting any gold income whatsoever other than the market. And Viper is just selling resources now. If he sells resources, that's just less gold for MBL when he tries to sell. It looks like this castle will probably go down pretty soon, and as Viper still does have those 2 trebs alive, and we'll have the siege rams to come in and push it as well if need be. MBL trying to spam these pikemen without any gold, but he's out of food now too, and the only resource he actually has is wood. He is kind of managing to push this back though. Viper might need to retreat those trebs, as he did spend a lot of time fighting underneath MBL's archery ranges. Those Cataphracts will last quite a long time. Just missing bloodlines is so sad to see for them. But here goes this castle. About to go down, and there it goes. And now, what else? Does MBL have anything left on this map at all? Not really. He's pretty much out of wood in the back. Does have a bit of wood over here thanks to those guard towers. But now the problem is MBL is not going to have wood, and there is the GG. GG from both players. And yeah, that was a great game to see how Viper defended that hill, then managed to go into Cataphracts, into a fast imp to defend all of that forward aggression from MBL, and then that, even after that, went back and forth a few times with MBL, just, being able to push into those skirms with eagles, control this part of the map. MBL probably was way too aggressive with that castle over here. He's able to build it more defensively, kind of get some plumes out. Maybe he's in a better spot. But, alright, now's the point where I have to figure out how do I check the achievements. It's actually a really good question. Maybe if I tab into the normal game. Or, no. Do that. I need to go into normal Age of Empires, go to the achievement screen, and then go into OBS and tell it to look at Age of Empires. There we are, achievements. I'll need to automate that switch for next time. Put that on my to-do list. Alright, here we see the total score in favor of the Viper at the end there. Military did have the better KD, even though MBL did have a huge army at one point of Arbalest, but just kind of a war of attrition. Fighting those skirmishers versus Arbalest, managing to pick them off. Slowly but surely taking cost-effective fights. MBL had a lot more gold, actually, despite only having 2 and then 1 of the relics. And, well, he did have 1 of the extra golds. But kind of surprising to me to see all that extra gold. But I guess, the most of that probably just come from mining, and his gold mines do last longer because he's the Mayans. So maybe that might be to be expected even without the relics. But Viper, using the Byzantines, gets not just the faster feudal with the pushing deer meta-arms build, faster castle age, but also the faster imperial age for those fast trebs to help secure his base. Yeah, there's a good relic gold for the Viper. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully the CaptureAge recording works out well. There's still a few things I want to tweak there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.